Okay, the recording. Good, thank you. Again, thanks for being here, everybody. This is the College Prep Framework Committee, second meeting that we're working our way through, all about providing resources to our colleagues, our other Garrett facilitators. Beyond. Plan for today is just continue where we left off on Friday. We've got a couple new, actually 3 new joining us, so I appreciate that because that was one of the subcommittees that was absent and might need a little guidance, a little direction on what came up is, do I attend today or tomorrow? Again, tomorrow is just to finalize if needed. If y'all want to work behind the scenes, just the 3 or 4 of y'all, that's fine too. I just want to provide as much support as I can on my end. I think it's really neat to have the ability to conference call like this where you can see one another and work through it. The best feature, in my opinion, with Zoom is that you can share a screen. And switch just the speaker view too. And I shared it earlier, and that's what the College Prep Framework looks like. And I'll do that again in just a second and run us through that. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and do that now. Okay, so this is the College Prep Framework. As you can see, there's 6 different topics, if you will. The first one being testing. The second is admissions. Third, financing college. And I know Angela's working with that one, and she also wants to consider having, like, there's really financial aid, and then there's learning about your finances. They're really 2 different things. But for right now, we don't have to worry too much on financing college in 8th grade. You can talk about FAFSA, but they're not going to fill it out anytime soon. So right now, it's more of the needs versus wants and that kind of thing. STEM, of course, we're careers, we're the 5th topic, and then there's global citizenship. A lot, kind of way I'm looking at it, treating it as more of a kind of leadership, kind of the RGV lead, the SLI, and the Student Leadership Council, things like that, that we can work through and work on helping out. As you can see here, this is a 7th grade framework, and it has implementation strategies and then resources. What our focus is today and will be for the May 8th meeting is kind of looking ahead to 8th grade and coming up with some careers. You can see implementation strategies, one-to-one, small group, classroom presentations. That's going to obviously fit with the student resource committee, the subcommittee. And we have parent presentations, career interest inventory, college fairs, things like that. I'm going to have some cyber mentoring sessions, which is what we're doing right now in a sense with this webinar opportunity. And then I'm going to reach out and get some professionals in different career fields and have topics monthly. Obviously, with HESTEC and things in the fall, I'll be concentrating some on STEM, engineering, some health sciences, things like that in the fall and work way through. And just provide, again, this is more of an awareness when you come to middle school. And these are some of the resources. And that's what happened a lot on Friday, was just going out and looking at the resources. What looks good, what can you add to this list and so forth. We're going to continue building on this, so next year we'll be starting to work on the 9th grade, the 10th grade. And the plan behind this, in case you haven't, haven't shared with you, or if you haven't shared among yourselves, is in the years past, last grant, for instance, we came up with a different focus or topic of each month, more or less. And some of them kind of bled over to 2 months. And so let's say we're going to choose testing for September, okay? Since we're with a career, we're not going to have our hand in creating the testing information. So what's going to happen is all this information will be shared in the Google folder for all Garrett facilitators. And if you have an opportunity to go visit with classrooms, or you have some type of event, career day, things like that, and you want to share this information, however it is that you want to present this information, you're going to be able to go to the folder, and the testing committee and subcommittees will have student resources, we'll have parent opportunities, and possibly educator resources that you can then share out as needed. Admissions might be the next month, financing colleges, and you work your way through. So obviously we're going to be working on careers. And so when it comes to talking about careers, the other facilitators from the other 5 committees are going to count on you guys to come through with some presentations that they can then share at there. So we're not all working overtime trying to come up with 50 different presentations for students, for parents, for educators across all these topics. So we're trying to divide and conquer, and that's the premise behind this. Just a little bit about the subcommittees with student resources. Again, and I shared this on the email that I sent out on Friday. Hello, Ellie's joined us. Awesome. Good morning. So with the subcommittees, for the students, we have Nelda, Zeke, Yvette, and Laura. And what I would like for y'all to focus in on is when it comes to students having hands-on type materials. If you're going to do a classroom presentations, for instance, whether it be 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes, have some type of activity. It can start with a PowerPoint. It can have a few slides, whatever, just to focus their attention or to kind of give you some type of structure to follow with bullet points, however you would like to share that. But you want the best you can hands-on materials. And it may be something like going to Own Your Own Future or the Gear Up website. You could share a short video, 1-3 minutes in length, talking about certain careers. You could have a focus on certain careers by month, those type of things. And if you have a computer lab and you take them into a computer lab, things like that, maybe you can guide them on how to go into these resources, share those resources with them, and then that's something they can do on the side if they have internet at home or have a cell phone where they can access some of these if they just want to find out more information. Again, they're kind of be brief. When it comes to May 8th at the Gear Up Facilitator Training, we don't expect you to take them through the whole 15-30 minute presentation like that. Just talk about in a nutshell what it is that resource is. As far as the product of choice, and if it's if it's PowerPoint, whatever it is that you come up with, and be ready to share, and of course where it's going to be located. With parent resources, obviously you have a different way to present. Many of you will have to have a Spanish and English, and so that's something with the subcommittee for Ellie, Carrie, and Amanda to keep in mind when you come up with a presentation on careers. Women in STEM, or however it is that you want to approach that, make sure that it didn't have to be an extensive one, but think of your parent meetings that are going to be 30 minutes to an hour. You're not going to present the entire time. You're going to bring them in. You can talk about celebrations, maybe current events. Share some pictures of a recent event that y'all attended. Talk about upcoming field trips at the end, and then sandwiched in the middle would be your focus. Or if you have a person from Wells Fargo or Lone Star Bank, and you have a presenter, or David Gutierrez for Workforce Solutions is able to provide you with a professional from your community, and they're going to speak for 5, 10, 15 minutes, something along those lines. And then you're going to have your parent resources that you're going to share about where they can go to find out more about careers. Again, Spanish and English, that's something you would focus in on. And then educator resources, the final subcommittee, Ruben, Nora, and Jessica. What I expect for them to do is come up with, again, resources that the educators can share, the teachers can share in their classroom, whether you want to also provide them with a student activity, or if nothing else, I had a really good idea, came from Angela, who said when she was a facilitator, she used to do monthly newsletters, just a quick template that she got from Word, just a one-pager, and she would share, again, a picture or two from something they went to, like the Steve or the IM conference, she would have, a section that said what's coming up for the rest of the month. And so that the teachers would know what events are coming up. It could be, ACT, Tessera, student survey, HESTEX coming up, and whatever it is. And then have some resources on there. And she would highlight a resource. And, it could be on scholarships and places they could go to search for them. And a lot of the teachers then would have a bulletin board and post that on the room, and so the fact that there was pictures, the kids like to see it, it drew their attention to it, and it had some resources that they could go to. Again, so that's going to be kind of a different feel on how you're going to prepare for that. I will take a break now. I've been talking continuously. I want to hear from y'all. Does this sound like something that makes sense and something y'all can run with? Okay, I see Carrie Ann talking. I just unmuted you, or maybe. There we go. Yes, Carrie Ann. I think we were both muting each other and unmuting at the same time. But now I have you. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions?
No, Amanda and I were talking about the presentation for next week. Would it be better for us to do a PowerPoint of the resources we found that day and then give a brief description of what each one is and maybe provide a picture of it or something? I don't know. We just didn't want to go up there and just talk, and
that's fine, and that's great. Again, what we're trying to do and what we want to, eventually the final product is going to be kind of like a module, if you will, that your colleagues, the other gear facilitators, can go to, and they say, you know what, I've got a parent event coming up and I want to talk about careers. That's going to be the focus, this topic for this month, for May or for the June or whatever it is, or next fall. And so they're going to look into the folder and they're going to see your subfolder on the parents for careers and see if you have one or two different presentations, one's 5 minute, one's 15 minute, that type of thing, and then replicate it. So they don't have to go out and create everything. So the resources are great, but how are you going to use resources?
Oh.
That type of thing. Like, are you going to have an activity, everybody, whether you provide some Chromebooks or something at the computer and kind of navigate, show them how you would go to the Workforce Commission website and how if you want to find out jobs, y'all, they have that subtopic. You could kind of take them through a few steps just to make it, user friendly. You could have a flyer, a handout, or something that gives them the steps. This is the website, and this is how you navigate step 1, step 2, step 3. You can come by. We're going to have parent events, regularly or every Tuesday at 9 o'clock or whatever it is that you have maybe at your campus or the district level, and that you're going to highlight certain things. You're going to work in conjunction with your parent liaison, whatever it is, to kind of give them some guidance. And so that's kind of the focus of what we're looking for right now, is we want to be able to replicate this easily for others. And the same thing for you guys. You want to go, when it comes to financing college or STEM, you want to go to the STEM committee folder and find something that you want to present on, so you don't have to create it.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, Yvette, do you have any questions, comments, concerns?
I kind of feel like I just jumped right in.
Awesome.
So I think this is great what we're going to be doing, because it does make it easier in the long run for everyone, just to kind of, this is already here. We don't have to come up with our own stuff.
Excellent.
So.
And I agree, and that's the focus of this. What I'd like to do, if once questions are done, is, I don't know if y'all saw the video, how we broke up, and I don't know how it went when we broke up, but I was going to get these, what we have like with the subcommittees, I can do groups, and just the 2 or 3, 4 of y'all can speak together quietly without involved or without the other, so you can have these open communications, because right now everybody's muted, and except for me or one other. But when we all unmute at the same time, you start getting that reverb, and it gets really loud, and that screechy sound. So by breaking it up into smaller groups, a couple of y'all can talk and go back and forth and just kind of hash out some ideas. Again, that's what tomorrow's going to be. I'm going to open this up and allow y'all some time to work through it. And again, you don't have to just devote and just do it. And we expect some of this to be done on the back end between you guys, about phone calls or emails. And I just wanted to kind of set you up and get some guidance going on, and answer any kind of questions. And then I think I hopefully framed it appropriately so that you understand the direction that we would like for y'all to be heading. And again, when it comes to the meeting on the 8th, you're not going to do the whole presentation. You're going to talk about what the presentation looks like and how it's going to impact either students, parents, or educators. Just a quick summary. And among your subcommittee, you're going to have a representative kind of speak on behalf of the committee. So this is where you would kind of point fingers at, okay, who's not here? Laura, you're going to present. So give me that, and you're going to call me or email me, Chris, what are you saying? But,
Chris, I do have a question. How much time does each committee have to present?
Minutes. I mean, whether it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I mean, as much time as you need to convey what it is.
Okay.
And I'm sure when we open it up and frame it, we haven't met as a specialist to frame it out necessarily.
Okay.
But
So there's no
usually it
given
is.
time, like we're not allowed like, oh, you have 30 minutes and you have to use a whole 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you that. Now, your presentation might be a 30-minute presentation. And you'll tell them, okay, this module, we have, you can condense it to 15, but it's set for 30, and you can, shave this out, and just, here's where you find it. You read through it. You have time for question and answer, so that, you build in 2 minutes here, but you're not going to sit there and take the whole group through it.
Right.
We have a lot of things to cover. We just want basically Q&A. Let's say you present for 3 minutes, we give you 2 or 3 minutes for them to answer questions on, where'd you find that resource, or, is it, whatever. And then you move on. Then the next committee stands up, that type of thing. And I think if we're going to follow we're the 5th, so you can hear the other 4 committees speak before you, we should kind of give you some, shed some light on expectations. And everybody's going to do something differently. I mean, not everything's, PowerPoint. And again, when it comes to students, you really don't want PowerPoint, but you might want something in the back just to kind of focus their attention, say, and I point like there's a whiteboard behind me or something. And we've all been teachers, so we know that, especially at this age level, even 8th grade, they're not much more mature than the 7th graders that you're dealing with right now. And so you definitely want to have some hands-on, or, even hands-on in the fact that you could be in a computer lab, like I said, and take them to a website, guide them through how, kind of like what you're doing with taking the survey. You have to step them through, give them, 2 or 3 easy steps to follow. Whether you build something in, like, okay, you're gonna report out to the class, we're gonna give you 5 minutes to come up with a career of your choice and find out, how much they make, where do they, these jobs found, so you can kind of frame it out like that and have that as built-in part of the student resources, and almost like do a scavenger hunt with them. Okay, this is the activity they're gonna have to do in 5-10 minutes, whatever it is that the teacher's going to give them or that you're going to give them, and that's one way to approach it. You want to make it fun, engaging to them as best you can, and I mean, you could even do a parent scavenger hunt, type of thing, if you're able to bring in the technology, or have, you can do with Kahoot, you can do some different things where they, take some questions, you flash the questions on the board, and they've got, however many seconds to answer, just have fun with it. And you don't have to stop at one. You could come up with 2 or 3 different quick modules, and they can build, 3 5-minute ones that have a 15-minute presentation, or they could just do 1 5-minute one and then save some time for question and answer. I mean, this is, you guys be creative, what's worked for you in the past, or what have you. It's just free. You have the freedom to go with, where you see fit. That sound good?
Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're about halfway through. It's 10:30. Let me how much time would y'all like to meet in subcommittees now, for 5 minutes or so, or what works? And then we can come back and discuss where you are, or what do you need? I mean, I'm just here. We can end this now. You can talk on your own. You can call each other. I didn't have everybody's phone number, as you can see. Most of this committee is part of my TAC, yesterday, folks, so I was able to retrieve their information. Hey, Jessica's joining us. Good morning.
Hello. Morning.
Morning.
I'm glad you're here. What I'll do, I'm taping this right now, so you're being recorded, Jessica. And then
Okay.
when we're done, I'm gonna send the link out so you can catch up on the first part.
Okay.
But I'm really glad you're here because we're gonna, we talked about educator resources is the subcommittee that you're on, and some things that you can come up with. And I can work with you individually when I break up into groups because I don't think Nora's here. Nora was here on Friday, and she and Ruben spoke, and so I can kind of touch base on some of the things that they covered.
Yes. I know something that I'm already implementing this morning is a connection. And an activity that I had my students work on was to do a sample application letter or letter of intent to college admission committee.
Okay.
So they're uploading that they had already previously completed to the connection. So I already had my first group do that this morning. So, I mean, that's helping and the teachers are excited because that's an actual, another resource.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
Okay. So thumbs up if y'all want to go to subcommittee breakout rooms. We're going to just talk among all of us. I mean, what works here? Hey, Lee, I haven't heard from you. Good morning. You have any concerns, questions?
Sorry, I have like I said last time, I'm in the room with parent volunteers, so
Okay.
yeah. So
Well, that's your parent resource here right there. You can ask them, hey, what is it that y'all need help with?
yeah. Work on my Spanish too.
That's true.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. No, I understand. I appreciate you joining in. And again, we'll have this taped. If you couldn't participate fully, you can watch it
Okay.
briefly. Would y'all like to work in subgroups?
Huh?
Would y'all like to work in subgroups so you can kind of talk more freely among just the committee, subcommittee?
I think that'll work since we're all gonna present in separate committees, right?
Okay, that way you can kind of appoint someone among your group to be
Who's
the,
gonna speak once
okay,
we get split into that subgroup?
okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start creating those now.
Zeke,
Yes, ma'am.
you're it.
I was just looking at the names, like who's a good candidate?
You're it.
Laura's it, she's out.
Okay, I am going to create, here's
Hit her, baby, or
first committee
who's having?
there. And
No, she's doing ACT test her today.
Um,
there's Miss Jessica. Okay.
I know I had my camera closed.
Okay, Jessica.
Yes.
Awesome. So right now it's you and me. We're in breakout room 3.
Okay.
Okay. So the other groups have been reassigned, so they're talking freely, I hope.
Okay.
Them, but for you and I will continue the recording since I have Ruben and Nora that are out. Now they were here Friday.
Okay.
And we're talking mainly about resources, and that was kind of the focus of Friday, was just kind of getting our feet wet and just looking for resources. What I shared this morning was that with the subcommittees, again, what you're responsible for is just coming up with like a module or an opportunity to share out. And then I shared the college framework and then the 6 different topics that we're going to be covering. And so the other 5 groups are doing the same thing. So when you are going to cover something like STEM, you can go to the STEM folder or the STEM committee, and they already have something for a parent event, for instance. So you don't have to go out and create it yourself. So that's the impetus behind this, is we want everybody to kind of divide and conquer, if you will. So when it comes to yours, you're the educator resource. And so what I shared, you're with Ruben and Nora and that educator resource subcommittee. And I was just kind of tucked into Angela to ask her, what are some ideas that you have when it comes to that? The obvious one is, educators are teachers. So you can have them, since they're going to be working with kids, if you want to share access with them or give them an opportunity to do one of our 6 topics in the classroom, that's fine. But generally, that's going to kind of fall on you guys to come in and do classroom presentations.
Okay.
But what Angela did when she was a facilitator at Port Isabel is she did a monthly newsletter. She just went into Word and came up with just a simple template, allowed you to drop in a picture. And so she would do like 1 or 2 pictures from their most recent event that they attended. She'd have a section with upcoming events so that the teachers were well aware of, ACT TESRA, that you're going to be doing, surveys, that you're going to have, an event coming up, a workshop for kids, whatever it is. So they can have an idea, expectations, like there might be some kids out, or that you might reach out to them to get a list of, who's worthy of going, or whatever the case may be. So that's just kind of nice. And then she had like a little bubble area, and she would put, resource of the month, or, she'd come up with something kind of cute and fun. And whether it be like a scholarship site, where you can go out and find ones for middle school students or for high school students. It could be something on careers, the Texas Workforce Commission had Jobs Y'all, maybe something they could share with a spouse, with, that the kids could take it back, to the mom and dad if they're looking for a job, just whatever. And
Yes.
teachers would then put it on their bulletin board in their classroom. And so, kids would see the picture of themselves and they go and see things like that. So that might be an avenue that you want to take when it comes to educator resources. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of resources themselves and just different links and places to go to.
Even I was thinking, because how Region 1 hosts the technology conference, and that's part of the STEM. So a lot of the times we send teachers, but we need the TOT type of how should I say, practice, like, because we send teachers, but they don't come back and share what they've learned.
Okay.
So I feel that we need the commitment of whoever went to the training to let the districts know, okay, these are your TOTs, because they have to bring back what they brought from the training.
Excellent. And so maybe framing something out that, after you've gone to a particular workshop, or if it's one that Gear Up sent you to, this is the expectation. And I like that. And you can frame it like that. So you can have one just devoted to that. Like, okay, this is how you're going to roll it out in your classroom, spend the first 5 minutes, or spend every Friday or after a test or before, whatever. You can kind of just, because what we want to do is kind of a step-by-step thing. Obviously, you don't need the hands-on for the teachers like you will for the students.
Yes.
But I was sharing with them, I don't know if you caught any of that before you came on, but when it comes to the student subcommittee, I wanted them to come up with more of a hands-on activity, whether it's a resource they're going to go into, like in a computer lab, and you can kind of step-by-step, kind of like what you're doing with the ACT TESRA. You're explaining, okay, first thing you click this link, second thing and I mentioned maybe give them a scavenger hunt, come up, 5 careers that are your favorite 5 you don't, you want to know more about, whatever, and make them kind of go look for it, and then, write it down, and then maybe have to present out or come together in a group, and, anything, just so that you get them engaged. And so, and then with the parents, I said, you're going to have, like Ellie was just talking about, she's in a parent event right now, or a parent little classroom where they have them come in weekly or something. You need a Spanish English. And so, each of these subcommittees has a different focus on how they need to best present and turn things around. And they're not all going to be hour long. You're not going to be given, the full 45, 50 minutes of a classroom per se. But you can build in 3 5-minute modules that if you want to stack them all together and present for 15, 20 minutes, great. Or if you create a 15 or 30-minute one, but there's areas that they can shave off, or they can modify, or just do half now, half later. What it is that, that you think you want would work best, that's what we want you guys to do. I also shared again that we have another Zoom set up for tomorrow. That's just if needed type of thing. It's just to finalize things. Ruben was going to try to meet up with us today, but his wife had a doctor's appointment. She had some eye situation that came up, and so he texted me like 7:30 this morning that he's going to hopefully be done by then, but he didn't know how long they were going to be with the doctor and so forth, because they were fitting him in. So, and then Nora, like I said, Nora and Ruben did kind of speak, and they felt comfortable on Friday. So I shared emails with you on that Friday email.
Okay.
So if you want to reach out to them, and again, just like we're here today, I'm going to do this again, and then you're welcome to use it or not use it. If you guys are fine, or you just want to meet on your side, that's fine. Or if you want to reach out to me and say, hey, Chris, can you do a Zoom for us on Thursday or Friday?
Okay.
That would be fine. I can create it and send y'all the link, and give one of y'all ability to be the host, so you can share screen, or you can do what you would like to do. And I have the Financial Literacy Summit at CSTC, but I can still create these because I have an account, so it's free to me.
That's true.
All right.
Yes.
Excellent.
So something we're doing right now is the connection. So we're so excited, and the teachers are excited, and I know the writing teachers are like, why couldn't we have had it earlier? Because you know how they're all revising the compositions, and I did tell the students, you're going to have this tool from now until 12th grade. So they're excited.
Excellent.
Yes. That's what we're working.
Even into college that first year, just kind of,
Yes.
that would be ideal plan.
So they're excited, and we're all excited. And like I said, we had already done, I have this rubric that I had already given them for that university project.
Okay.
So basically we're uploading the essay component of it, because it was what attracts you to this university, the artwork, and the PowerPoint. And I did tell them, if you want your PowerPoint to be looked at and you want to make some changes, you can upload that too, because that was part of it, like a supporting document. But they're for sure uploading that essay with that university, like the admissions committee.
I love it.
Yeah, they're excited.
Well, good. Well, thank you for sharing that. I hope it works out, and keep us posted on.
Yes.
How
And I
things
did
go.
put it on because I did put this on my student database, the Youth Connections, as in like an accelerated or rigorous assignment, because it's going above and beyond what they're already doing.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay, Chris, so I'll go ahead, and I have Nora's number. I don't have Ruben's, but I'm sure I have his email, and I'll go ahead and get in touch with them to see if they want to meet or discuss anything else.
Okay. And what I'll do is, just like I did Friday, as soon as we finish this, I'll convert this video to a YouTube, and then I'll share that link out. And you're welcome again to kind of I try to catch you up real quick to kind of what I talked about in the first part. You can kind of
Okay.
breeze through some of it just to get caught up, so you feel comfortable. And that's what I want. It's just everybody to be satisfied. Again, we're not expecting that you present or give your whole 15-minute presentation. Just a kind of a nutshell, a summarize. That's what Zeke was asking. 3, maybe 5 minutes, whatever they're gonna, and they'll frame it out when we come to this part of your facilitator training. I'm sure it's gonna be short. It's like obviously where to find it. What it's going to be as far as the product of choice. Is it a PowerPoint? Is it an activity? Is it scavenger hunt? Is it whatever it is?
Okay.
And in your case, newsletter or some bank of resources, or something, you're going to share a Dropbox with your teacher, or whatever it is.
Okay,
And that's what you're going to share. And then if they have questions, they'll ask you, and then we go to the next topic,
okay. Okay, Chris, we'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You have a good rest of the day.
All right. Thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate it, Jessica. Okay.
Bye, Chris. Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Everybody's back.
Right. Okay. I'm unmuted. Thank you. Okay. How did that go? Got enough
Been good.
time?
It was good.
It went well.
I touched base with
It was
Jessica. And
productive.
I guess she logged off. I told her we're coming back together. And, anyway, so that's fine. She was going to reach out to Ruben and Nora and catch up and go from there. Is there anything else that y'all would like to share before we wrap up this session? Any other questions or comments that came up while y'all were meeting?
No, I think we got more idea what we want to do.
Okay.
I guess the main thing that we discussed was like the purpose. I mean, the goal for the presentation is to show the resource, and then also how like pretty much step by step kind of deal. So that way, how they're going to access this resource and how you implement it. So that it can be used by student, parent, or educator. Is that pretty much the layout?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you just want to frame it, tell them how, when, and where.
The what and how, I guess.
And that's it.
Okay.
They can have it, and they can take it or leave it. You did your job.
Now, if we need other technology or other things, do we take our laptop or other things will be available to us? I mean,
Yeah, we
projector.
pretty much want you to take laptops to all of our trainings and TAC meetings. We don't always access them, and we'll tell you, okay, leave it closed for this portion because I want your undivided attention. But by all means, you can, whether you have a pen drive or have something saved on your desktop, you can open it up, you can share.
Okay.
That type of thing. You can go right into the Google Drive. Just sometimes there's a little bit of lag time or thing, but that's where it's going to end up being housed for everybody's access. That's a great commission, and that's what you want. You want to step it out, and if you have a couple different ideas, like one's a scavenger hunt, one's a computer resource, and let them know these are the materials you need. Whether it's you're going to create a flyer, you're going to create like a little pamphlet or threefold. Something to give the resources so they can walk away with something. That's awesome. You can bring a copy of that, make copies for those. What it looks like, and then they'll have the original there in the folder, so they can then make copies as they need and as they see fit. And you can make 2 or 3 different options. That would be great. Thank you, Zeke.
Sounds good.
Anyone else?
No, I think we're good.
I think we're good. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Excellent. Do you see a need for tomorrow? I can open up tomorrow, and then y'all, whoever needs to meet.
I think we'll be fine. I think we'll just our group decided that we're gonna email and call each other and just forward each other's
Perfect.
information.
Okay.
And this one's for May 8th, correct?
Pardon me?
Were we doing this May 7th or May 8th?
May 8th.
May 8th. Okay.
May 8th is the facilitator training.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Okay.
just be ready to go at that time, you know, and,
Yes,
and
sir.
again, if you know, and coming up with stuff, if you have a few, you know, you can have more than one, and eventually, like I said, this is dynamic, so we'll continue to grow these folders and have more opportunities and ideas. And maybe when you see some of the other ones, like, hey, that's a great idea, we can do something like that, you know, and you can kind of keep adding to it. It's just going to make it easier for everybody in the long run. Awesome. Okay. Well, I'll come on. If you join in tomorrow, that's fine. If you want another date, you know, tomorrow doesn't work because there's things going on. But if you want a Thursday or Friday date, just let me know and I can create a Zoom link and send it to y'all, make one of y'all a host person so that you can share screen, or, you know, if you can say, hey, this is where I am, this is what I've come up with, so the others can see, or you can do it by email. You know, it's whatever. I just want to make this opportunity available to you if you like it. I personally like it, but by no means am I forcing it on y'all. It's kind of neat to kind of see and talk to everybody. And this is always available to us by any, if I'm not your specialist, your specialist can do the same. You can have tax like this if you want, you know, mini tax, that type of thing. Moving forward, again, this is what it's going to look like when we do the cyber mentoring, just to kind of give you an idea in the future, where I'll have some of our professionals come and join us and share with their students, or with your students, you know, what it is they do and how much they make and all those kind of things. That will be unveiled next year. Excellent. There's no other questions, comments, or concerns.
Nope.
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 Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. I will.